they scheme you and they feel like they have an advantage on the outside and kind of force everything in the middle of the football field, it's a really good day.
Bowers is a tremendous talent, and he's one of those that offers an advantage for any offense that has a player like him.
Are the Raiders a smash mouth, run the ball down your throat kind of team, or a quick strike, pass-happy offense?
Welcome to Raiders Roundtable, presented by America West Credit Union. I'm JT. The Hall of Famer, Eric Allen's right there, and it's a typical loss for the Raiders. They were in it early, 7-7 at the half, and then the game got away from them. That's been the talk of the season so far.
It really has, and we see some of those same issues kind of pop up. As you see here, 17 first downs. Chargers stayed on the field all day long. Time possession on the Chargers side. Only 2 of 8 on third downs. And look at the rushing, JT. I mean, how many times can you look at those rushing numbers? The missed tackles, again, popped up for us again, the missed tackles. But just the Chargers held the ball so long that our offense was not able to really kind of get it in sync and find a way to be successful. Love the fact, though, that Brock Bowers was pivotal, and every time he was in a situation where he was matched up one-on-one, went right to Brock, and he definitely did a great job.
The positives in the game is clearly the 2 touchdown drives were exactly what you want to see from the Raiders going forward. Whenever they fix it and get it right with the offensive line and find a rhythm, that's how you do it. Brock Bowers was targeted. They had long drives. Everybody touched the ball. Yeah. Time of possession in those drives were great. That's Raiders football. Right. And they had 2 touchdowns. They got to find a way, EA, to take that to 3 or 4 touchdown drives in a game, and then they'll be in a lot more football games.
Me and you talk red zone all the time.
Yeah.
That's one of my topics there, and did a really good job in the red zone. And that's what's important for this football team, to take situations where you have not done very well, particularly in the red zone. For this week, hopefully next week is red zone and third down. So some of those situations, we really did a good job, and in red zone is one of those things that you look back to and you say to yourself, if we can continue to have success in the red zone, we're going to be a pretty good football team.
I know you're really disappointed again in the tackling because Coach Carroll got the team to halftime at 7-7, and that felt good, considering what was happening in the game.
Right.
And then Pete Carroll's known for halftime adjustments, and then a 60-yard touchdown run off the left side where everybody seemed to be lined up wrong. They couldn't contain. And then when that happens, everything started to slip away right then.
Yeah, those missed tackles. I mean, we talk fundamentals all the time, JT, and that is a fundamental core of good defense, is being able to be in your putting yourself in the right spot as far as leverage and angles is concerned, and then bring the guy down. I mean, the effort is there. It's just the ability to get the guy on the ground has been an issue for this football team the entire year. That has to be the number one goal going forward for this football team on defense, is to tackle the ball carrier.
After the game at SoFi Stadium, we hear from Ashton Jeanty.
Wins not easy to come by for this team. Your rookie year, what's your overall sense now at 2-10?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough league. You know, every week is different. Every week is a learning experience. You know, especially as a rookie. At this point, we just got to keep going and stay together.
Let's spend a minute on him. First off, I don't believe it makes sense to run him up the middle. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked all year. He's taken a beating. If you get him on the outside and he's catching the ball, I think that was one thing that Greg Olsen wanted to do. Yeah. Get him involved. He had the most targets in the passing game. I'm good with that. If you cannot run the ball with him for whatever reason with this offensive line, let him get some touches in the passing game.
There's been some difficult times in the middle of the football field. Yeah. The interior offensive line at times has not given Ashton an opportunity to get the ball and maybe crease it on the left or the right. So that's been an issue. But at the overall, I think being a versatile player, being balanced, being able to catch the ball at the backfield is a huge asset for this football team. And you see Ashton at his best when he's on the edge, one-on-one, very difficult to bring down. So, again, at the end of the year, because we've had so many issues, we're not going to really have a fair picture of him, but the brief times when he's in those one-on-one situations and he's making that guy miss, you see the potential of Ashton Jeanty.
And the most important thing now is he's healthy. Let's keep him healthy the rest of the year and manage his workload. Brock Bowers had a monster game. Here he is in the locker room.
Did it feel different, like communication-wise, play call-wise, that kind of thing with the new coordinator?
Yeah, it felt a little bit different. Obviously, I don't know. We'll I don't know. I'm interested to see how this next week goes and the rest of the year, so I'm excited.
What's your feel on the offense overall? What worked, what didn't work?
Yeah, you guys can see it. We just got to stay away from big negative plays like penalties, sacks, all that stuff. When we stay on track, I feel like we're a pretty good offense, but we just need to stay on track, getting those third and manageables, and keep the drive going.
I'm really happy for him as a player. The only confusion I have is 4 targets. All of them, he was wide open.
Wide open.
So you would think if he had 8 targets or 12 targets, he'd have double the production here. I don't know how you get away from Brock Bowers when he puts up a performance like that with only 4 targets.
Yeah, I think because we didn't have the ball enough, JT.
Yeah.
And, when the Chargers really dictated the terms of that football game by running the ball successfully. And so when we do have the ball, it's really have to take shots. But I did see opportunities for him. They drew up some formations and personnel packages that, you're right, wide open. We call it a mesh route, where they have several receivers running across the middle of the football field, and that puts a lot of stress on those linebackers and safeties on who to go with. And they chose wrong several times, and Brock was able to have some big impact plays for us. So I see if we have the ball enough, we're going to have opportunities to get him more targets and get Ashton involved in the passing and running game. And if those 2 guys are going, we have a great opportunity to have some success on
The
offense.
circus catches he makes.
Oh, man,
One-hand
unbelievable,
catches,
unbelievable.
Back shoulder.
Yeah.
He can do that all the time. It's great to watch.
It is.
Let's hear from Eric Stokes after the game.
I was just going to ask about Caillou, what you saw out of him today. Sorry if I missed that in my
no, you good. I'm just happy for Kai, man. He's been working on that red zone. We always been working on the red zone, so just seeing him get a red zone pick and crib, especially out here in LA with a whole bunch of Raider fans in the crowd, man, it was unbelievable.
That's a good teammate. Happy for a young player.
Yeah.
You were pretty good at red zone interceptions. What have you seen there with Caillou now on that big play?
Well, first of all, going into the game, we talked a lot about the stress that corner opposite E. Stokes is going to have. He's going to have opportunities. And early in the game, it was a similar pass pattern and was complete by Keenan Allen. And to be able to remember that, slow the play down, and take advantage of that at that point in the game is really good for this young man, because he was a practice squad player, has been on several teams. Really loved the fact that he was able to stand up and make a big-time play in the red zone.
All right, when we come back, as always, it's Paul Gutierrez and Lincoln Kennedy. They'll tell us what they saw and what we should expect as we keep it rolling here on Raiders Roundtable.
The power of we is all for one. It's all for you. It's always there for you. It completes your circle. It says you've got a team even when you're out there alone. And with Intermountain Health in your circle, you'll always have the care you need to live the healthiest life possible. That's the power of we. Intermountain Health.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew, Black Friday.
Initiating great time to buy sequence.
Black Friday deals engaged.
Ford SUVs are go.
Bronco family built wild, it's go time.
Built Ford tough trucks are a go.
And go.
What's that one do?
Oh, you'll see.
This is how you do Black Friday.
During the Ford year-end sales event, get 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down payment and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select 2025 Ford vehicles.
And a blue moon.
Wow, that is a delicious looking orange slice.
Thank you. That's actually my son's slice. Proud of you, son.
Thanks, Dad.
I'm sorry, this is a slice of your son?
Look, it's an honor to be chosen for a blue moon.
Well, if it's an honor.
Yeah.
No! Just kidding.
That was a really good one.
The larger one is the dad.
Nothing outshines a blue moon.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Coors Light, choose chill, an official beer of Raider Nation. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. I'm Paul Gutierrez here with my 3 takeaways from Sunday's loss at the Chargers. Number 1, Brock Bowers is built different. So said rookie receiver Jack Pesh when I asked him about Brock's highlight reel, counterclockwise, one-handed, left-handed touchdown grab. There's not many people on this earth that could make that play, Besh told me. Well, Brock is a reigning first-team All-Pro tight end for a reason, and if a skill on the field is one thing, well then his mellow approach to football is something else entirely. His sure hands and receiver speed not only put him at the forefront of a new breed of tight end, but should also make him a quarterback's best friend. And after catching 4 of Geno Smith's passes for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns, well, that checks out, and then some. Number 2, the offense looked a tad different with Greg Olsen at the controls. Now, Ole 3.0, operating in the wake of Chip Kelly's dismissal as offensive coordinator last week, it had its fits and starts, but it hummed along great on the Raiders' 2 long touchdown drives. One, a 9-play, 69-yard drive in the first half, and then a 13-play, 62-yard drive in the fourth quarter. As rookie running back Ashton Jeanty put it, there was a better sequence of running plays to set up other plays, all of it to stay on schedule, with Olsen calling those plays. Execution, or lack thereof, though, that's what cost the Raiders on their other possessions. And no matter how crisp they may have looked in bunches, Geno Smith was still sacked 5 times. And while the Raiders entered the game averaging a league low 15 points per game, they only scored 14 in the 31-14 loss. And number 3, lack of success on third down on both sides of the ball, well, that was the Raiders' undoing. The way Coach Pete Carroll put it, the Raiders were atrocious. Again, his word, when it came to third down. Yeah, the Raiders were just 2 for 8 on third down, while the Chargers converted 12 of 17 attempts on third down. In fact, 4 times Geno was sacked, yes, on third down. Ouch. As Pete said, it's been a little bit of a theme this year, those third down struggles. Well, and then some. Combine that with the Chargers' time of possession nearly hitting 36 minutes, and it's easy to see how those issues go hand in hand, and not in a good way, for either side of the ball. All right, for more on Sunday's game and how Brock Bowers doesn't think on the football field, he just does, check out my column at Raiders.com.
We're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
It's the year-end sales event with the Ford crew, Black Friday.
Initiating great time to buy sequence.
Black Friday deals engaged.
Ford SUVs are a go.
Bronco family built wild, it's go time.
Built Ford tough trucks are a go.
And go.
What's that one do?
Oh, you'll see.
This is how you do Black Friday.
During the Ford year-end sales event, get 0% APR for 60 months with 0 down payment and 0 payments for up to 90 days on select 2025 Ford vehicles.
Welcome back to Raiders Roundtable. Lincoln Kennedy, our partner, joins us as he does every week. Link, good to see you. I'm going to begin. Did you see more balance with this team, or maybe the better question, the attempt of more balance when it came to the running and passing game?
Yeah, that's more of a suitable answer. There was an attempt. Look, I've always believed football to be a complementary sport. You know, special teams, defense, offense works together. If EA went out there with the defense and got a 3 and out, then it was up to the offense's responsibility to go out and put a sustainable drive together and hopefully generate some points. As we saw yesterday, I went into the halftime thinking the Raiders had a chance to beat the Chargers. Yeah. Unfortunately, it fell apart in the second half. And what I saw, guys, is that the defense just couldn't hold up after a while because it was just, it was just out there on the field far too long. But for the offense's part, have to find a way to sustain drives. Only 2 drives in yesterday's game, which translated in touchdowns. That was good, but we just didn't see enough of it throughout the game.
Link, have you ever experienced having a different play caller towards the middle of the season? And if you have, what is it like? Does terminology change? What changes in that situation?
Well, to answer your point, everything changes. I mean, what remains the same is for an offensive player, constants, odd numbers to the left, even numbers to the right. But it also describes differently for the passing tree. So yes, there's going to be a change in terminology. But EA and JT, what I saw yesterday, and it really gave me a little bit sense of peace. There was a little bit more attention to details. I saw a lot more communication going on from the offensive front, guys talking about who's got whom and where they're going to go. And so that was rewarding in its own right. But to answer your question, JT and EA, yes, everything changes. I don't remember in mid-season having a different coordinator, if you will, but I just always thought the simplicity is in the way that you describe plays. Every offensive coordinator is different.
Eric and I were talking about the fact, Link, that there's so many different looks on the offensive line, and you got Kappa playing center, Parham played center a little bit in college, and they're moving guys around trying to figure this out. And now they can't, because unless you're elevating practice squad players or playing rookies, no one's coming into that room. You're not making a trade. You're not bringing in a free agent. So there's plenty of football left, and they're still trying to figure out what's the best 5 to put out there. At least now it seems like with the rotation, they're putting out 6 and 7 and taking a look at some of the other players.
No, I've never been a big fan of rotating offensive linemen. You just have to leave them in there, let them take their lumps. They're going to be beaten. You correct it on the sideline, you correct it after the game, but I've never been a fan of rotating offensive linemen because offensive linemen need to get in a rhythm more than ever. I've always thought 2 positions on the football field that need as many plays as you possibly can generate. That's offensive line and that's quarterback, because you have to understand the different looks. And there have been times where I saw, guys not sure where to go in blocking. I saw where they had tried to have scoop tandem blocks that fell apart. I saw guys, what I see a conscious effort, guys, this is what defenses are doing to the Raiders, is they are isolating their offensive linemen one-on-one. Just like a one-on-one pass drill that you see at practice. They are isolating them one-on-one. They're putting 5 defenders on the line of scrimmage to isolate everybody to go have one-on-one. Then they run games on top of that, or stunts on top of that, which put the offensive linemen on different levels. That's why you have to play together. Those are the instances where you have to play together, because you have to understand what the guys around you are doing, not only for what the defense is giving to you.
Link, before we get to Brock, can you follow up a little bit on the communication when you have like that mug look, when everyone's on the line of scrimmage? What are the rules? Do you go from inside to outside, which I've heard, as far as protecting the quarterback? And if you have an edge guy, who's responsible for naming that edge guy in that communication during that play?
Well, the best way is the way the center generates who's the most fearsome 5. Because the 5 offensive linemen got to be responsible for the 5. It's usually 4 down linemen and a middle linebacker, EA. More times than not, you can, adjust your protection if you see someone's overloaded on one side or the other to where you're going to slide that way. But most times you're trying to take the most immediate 4 to 5. And yes, it's inside to out. You want to make the widest guy go the furthest to get if he has a chance to get to the quarterback. That's usually a popular definition. But in some cases, there are times where you want to give a back. You want to keep big on big. For example, you don't want a back block in a defensive tackle or a defensive end or a tight end having to block a defensive end, because we know the advantage goes to the defender. You'd much rather have your guys on their bigs. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate when you talk about these styles of defenses, because a lot of times there's more linebackers than defensive line. I mean, it can get convoluted. I don't want to get too far into that, but usually it's inside out, EA.
want to get to Brock Bowers. He had a couple of big catches in this game, 4 targets,
One beautiful
4
one, too.
receptions. Yeah, a Sports Center catch there, or a couple of good catches around the league, and Brock had one of the best ones. It just seems like when they put him in motion and he comes off the line of scrimmage, his first move makes somebody miss. So if there is a double team, he's making the linebacker miss or he's making a corner miss. And then the ball's got to come out quickly there. There was a big play at one point in the game where Geno had a 3rd down and he took a sack. And I said, why not go to Brock immediately?
Yeah.
The ball needs to come out or move Geno there. So I'm excited that Brock had that type of game going into Denver, because remember, he didn't get the targets in the Denver game, and we talked about that. What happened there?
Yeah.
What did you see with Brock Bowers, now with Greg Olsen, and Geno being comfortable getting him the ball in the red zone, Link?
Well, even prior to the Chip Kelly firing, I had seen a conscious effort to get the ball to Brock Bowers and Ashton Genty. And more defenses took notice of that, too. There were a lot of times where they're trying to double team, whether they bracket Brock Bowers or they just had a straight double team on him. They were trying to take him away. What Geno, I think, had been, somewhat stressed to do is find a way to get the ball to Brock Bowers. There were times where it was unbeknownst to me why the Chargers did it. When they blitzed in the first half, they had success. Then they backed up and they played zone defense, which opened up a lot of opportunities to get the ball downfield, which I was really surprised of. But more importantly, when it comes to Brock Bowers and him getting open, he has an uncanny ability to find the hole in the zone. You should have an offensive package that is designated to him, but not to a fault. You have to be careful. If defense is thinking that you're going to key in on number 89, they're going to find him and they're going to try to find a way to take that away. And if you're Geno Smith, you can only understand, you could possibly imagine how much pressure he's under. He leads the league in interception. It looks bad for him. Do I really want to force it in that tight window? I think I've seen him at times do it. There were times it calls to turnover. There were also times where he wasn't open. Don't try to force it. If it's not there, you got to go somewhere else. It just comes back up to decision-making of the quarterback.
Yeah, Brock is a bad dude, my man.
True
but
story.
bad, you're talking about our run defense. I mean, man, this continues to pop up with this. We all knew that the Chargers, when they struggle, they're going to go to what they do, and that's running the football. Right. So obviously, run defense really was not very good yesterday. Talk a little bit about what it's like for an offensive lineman to know that you can run the ball down defense's throat.
There's nothing that's more satisfying than that. When you can just go to the line of scrimmage, and I've had games where we've called it, we're running right here. We're coming right here. Stop it. But it's an overall feeling that offensive linemen get. What I touted up to, guys, I chalk it up to is that this defense was on the field for a long time, and they're worn down. There's not a defense in the land that can withstand when it's almost 2-1 as far as the ratio of ball control and time of possession. Those are always the big stats. And JT will tell you that. I look at total number of plays on offense and time of possession to tell you how the game went. The game fell apart in the second half because the defense was out there for a long time, over 30 minutes.
Look, there wasn't LaDainian Tomlinson there.
Right.
Prime,
no.
Okay. There were guys that you're not really familiar with, and they had a day, and they kept running the ball. I just think, as Eric said earlier, the missed tackling is a problem. Yep. There's not a complete game with the defense. Patrick Graham is a very good coordinator. Pete Carroll is a legendary defensive coach with the secondary.
Yeah.
And there's just players that are swinging and missing, like bouncing off players and not tackling. And I think I saw a lot of good pursuit, Lincoln. Did you? I think the team was hustling to get to the ball, but you could have 2 or 3 hats on the ball. If you're not tackling and bringing a running back to the ground, they're going to extend the play, and that happened in the second half in L.A.
Look, to me, tackling is like blocking. It's a desire. Everyone has the opportunity. Everyone has the capability. I mean, you wouldn't be on this level if you didn't have the ability to play at this level. But it's just those small things that it comes down to desire. When you're beaten down and your pride is taken from you, and not necessarily saying your pride is taken from you, but you're beaten down because you haven't won games and you're tired and you're out there playing a long time, it's hard to go through the proper technique. Just like if you're getting worn out as an offense, man, it's hard to get up and want to go out there and block for somebody or block for a system that you might not believe in or to go the extra mile. That's all about desire. That comes from inside. It can't be taught. Heart is there.
Yeah, I think nowadays, too, defensively, there's so much emphasis on taking the ball away.
Yeah.
And we see so many highlights of guys punching the ball and not securing the tackle. So a lot of guys are having great angles, but they're trying to punch the ball out. And obviously, running backs understand that, and they're doing a good job of covering up. But that doesn't take away from how dominant the Chargers were on third down. I think they were 12 of 17.
12 of 17.
12 of 17.
12 of 17.
That's
on
unbelievable.
third down. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Well, to be fair, look, also to think about the fact that Chargers have productivity on first and second down where they set up third and manageable situations, unlike the Raiders. If the Raiders get behind the sort of chains, as I call it, and they're second down and 10 or second down and 12 or third down and 9, they're less likely to get that first down. They're just not that capable of an offense yet. Whereas other teams, especially like the Chargers did yesterday, they found themselves in third down and short, manageable situations, third down and 3, third down and 4, third down and 2, in a lot of those. And they were able to convert those.
It's going to be interesting to see what the NFL voters think of Max Crosby this year. Because if you look at tackles for losses, it's insane what he's doing behind the line of scrimmage. Couple of sacks in the game here. He's getting double and triple teamed, but he had the energy going on in this game. Link, we've been saying this all year long on Raiders Roundtable. Get him some help. Where are the other sacks? Where's the other defender with 1.5 sacks or a 2-sack game or the linebacker with 2 sacks? Max is doing a lot of it on his own. His teammates are helping him and free him up there. But what do you say about Max again, going into that hostile environment, playing a good game, but it wasn't competitive late?
Well, that's what Max has been able to do all this season. I mean, he has been the shining light on that defense. And look, they've had other standout players. I think Caillou Bulu-Kelly's interception was a big wave to the right direction for this defense. But Max Crosby is that force that everyone's trying to take away. If you try to trick or try to isolate Max Crosby with a tight end or an offensive tackle, more times than that, Max is going to have the greater hand and do better in that situation. But we see more and more teams double team and triple team, and so everyone else needs to get together. Look, for what it's worth, I think Tyree Wilson has had a solid season. I haven't called out his name as long, but I did see him make plays and be around the football, which I think is a step in the right direction. We hadn't really seen that a lot since he's been drafted. I'm still looking for Malcolm Kuntz to be better. A lot of these guys are on proven contracts, so I know a lot of the pressure that these players, especially in the secondary, are playing under. It's just whether or not they can gel under this Patrick Graham / Pete Carroll style of hybrid defense.
Lincoln doesn't like Denver. So I know Lincoln's coming in.
Right.
Lincoln's coming in ready to roll.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
At least there's no snowballs in Vegas right now. Okay?
That's right.
Don't relive that nightmare day.
Lincoln is coming in to beat the Broncos, not compete against the Broncos. Thanks, Link. Have a great week. We'll talk to you.
Take care, my friend.
Talk to you soon, guys.
There he is, the great Lincoln Kennedy. And again, he's got a track record.
We have to have him at the torch before the Broncos game because he's going to get everyone excited.
Stare down those Broncos
That's
fans.
right.
Let's keep it going here. We'll look around the league next on Raiders Roundtable.
This is not a blue moon. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. Now it's not. Now it is. A Valencia orange makes a blue moon, and everything a little brighter.
At Cox, we're always a step ahead. There you go. I'll show you. Like, before your basement became Movie Central, we made sure you'd have strong Wi-Fi, even down here. And you can rest easy knowing the price of your plan won't go up for 3 years. Guaranteed. See? He's looking out for you, and so are we, with advanced security that blocks threats on your network. Good boy. Whatever the future brings, Cox will keep you a step ahead. Oh.
Let's see, string cheese, ooh, soda.
Surprise! You have a brother.
Hi. Whoa. Why didn't you tell me before?
Well, we just got him.
For opening a new account at America First Credit Union.
Which, surprise number 2, you're moving out and living at America First.
Huh?
Get your money working. For a limited time, new members get a cash bonus when they open a checking account.
Yamava Resort and Casino at San Manuel. You in?
When things heat up, you don't just want a cold one. You want the coldest one. The cold lagered, cold filtered, cold packaged one. Mountain Cold Refreshment. Coors Light. Choose chill.
For the first time ever, step inside Allegiant Stadium on the eve of game day. When the building comes alive, this exclusive 75-minute guided tour gives you a rare access to the final pre-game prep, sound checks, lighting tests, rehearsals, and more. Go beyond the standard experience with behind-the-scenes access to suites, clubs, and areas off limits on regular tours. Hear untold stories of the stadium. Feel the energy of kickoff coming alive, and you might even spot Raider Rusher. This is your all-access pass to game day, before the gates even open.
Raiders Roundtable is brought to you by America First Credit Union, the official credit union of the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome back, everyone. We always take a look ahead at the upcoming schedule, and it's tough. It's one of the tougher schedules in all of football. We'll spend more time on the Broncos in a minute as they won. I can't believe how they're winning games. But after that, your former team, the Eagles, Houston's probably got the best defense today in all of football. And then the Giants come to town, and Giants are in every game they play.
Yeah, we'll see with the young quarterback in New York and how he figures out. Obviously, the Houston Texans playing great defense. I mean, those guys are really getting after it. Eagles, of course, are the Eagles, but the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos.
Let's get into the Broncos for a minute. They are winning games where they are no-shows through 3 quarters. And their defense, their pass rush is one of the best in football.
Right.
Whatever happens in the fourth quarter with their coach, Sean Payton, calming down Bo Nix, and then Bo Nix makes a play, all of these 3-point games, these come-from-behind wins, ranking with the 86 Giants of Bill Parcells, and you knew that team.
Yes.
What they're doing is flat out blowing me away because every time I watch them, I think they're going to lose, and they make one play or 2 plays with under 5 minutes to go, and they win games.
And it's the young quarterback who's at the lead of this. I mean, the ability to extend plays, throw it, run it, whatever it takes to win the football game. Bo Nix has done a tremendous job, but he gives hope to everyone in the league that they can find a guy who's not a first-round pick, not a first pick in the draft, to be able to develop that quarterback and have him make some plays for you in the end. Bo Nix is doing an incredible job.
I think the Raiders outplayed the Broncos in Denver for the majority of the game and lost by 3. They've got to take that into this week of preparation.
You have to, but you have to find a way to make sure you're dictating terms so you can have those matchups and win that football game.
Raider Nation, thanks for hanging with us. We appreciate the recap opportunity with Lincoln Kennedy, Paul Gutierrez. That's the Hall of Famer Eric Allen. I'm JT. For everyone at Silver and Black Productions, thanks for joining us on Raiders Roundtable.